I followed Sabele up the stairs. The walls were adorned with expensive oil paintings, and the chandelier above was made from real diamonds. The staircase alone was so magnificent that it almost took my breath away. In my last life, I had earned all this with my own hard work. Seeing it again now barely stirred anything inside me. Sabele glanced back at me, surprised by my lack of reaction. When we reached the second floor, he respectfully said, "Ms. Vicino, this is the room Don Vicino prepared for you. You can rest here. I'll come get you when dinner's ready." The door opened, revealing a large room, all in shades of pink. As I stepped inside, I was instantly enveloped in a cocoon of warm pink. The walls, curtains, and bed canopy were all a soft pink. Even the headboard and vanity were lined with brand new tagged pink dolls. The air smelled faintly of soothing fragrance. Clearly, the Vicino family was being very generous with me. A wave of joy filled my heart. Everything in the room was on a level that most people could only dream of. And yet here I was, obtaining it all so effortlessly from my adoptive parents. I didn't even have to fight the way to the top as I did in my last life. This time, I would make sure I achieved even greater success than before. I was smiling, daydreaming about the bright future ahead, when suddenly, the door was kicked open with a loud bang. My brain froze as I turned around and saw a massive mastino charging toward me. Just as the dog knocked me to the ground, I noticed a young man leaning lazily against the doorframe. He looked a little childish, but already exuded an air of toughness. His muscular arms were covered with 2 crossed pistol tattoos. At that moment, he was looking at me with disdain. He was Pardo Vicino, Alano's only son. If all went well, he'd be the next Don of the Vicino family in a few years. Suddenly, Pardo's expression shifted. He looked surprised and asked, "Why didn't it attack you?" The mastino was known for its ferocity. In the mafia world, it was often raised as a fighting dog. In my last life, this very dog had killed many traitors within the family, earning a reputation as a deadly killer. But now, as Pardo asked his question, I was sitting up, holding the dog in my lap. "It's so cute. What's its name?" I asked. "Shadow," he blurted, then raked a hand through the stray hairs on his forehead, his expression clouding with regret. Shadow sat on my lap, rubbing its big head against my shoulder. I took some jerky out of my pocket and fed it to the dog, which then sat quietly, focused on chewing its treat. In my last life, to ensure my safety, I'd lived and slept with a mastino for years. I knew how to handle it better than Dario. I looked up at Pardo. "Ciao, Pardo. I'm Livia." His initial disdain turned into curiosity. "You're that orphan? You're brave. I'll give you that. You even managed to tame Shadow. How did you do it?" Pardo, Alano's spoiled only son, had a straightforward yet ruthless personality. In my last life, under peer pressure, he agreed to race in the mountains and ended up in a car accident that cost him both legs. Confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, he grew even more ruthless, earning the nickname Grim Reaper within the mafia. Not hearing a response from me, he scoffed and said, "Shadow, let's go." In just a few days, school would start again. Before that, Sabele took me on a tour of the estate to familiarize me with every corner of the mansion. During these days, I didn't see Pardo or Shadow. I also didn't encounter Alano or Imelda. They seemed to be busy with their own affairs. Soon after returning to my room, there was another knock on the door. Sabele entered and handed me a digital tablet with various schedules on it. "Ms. Vicino, these are the training plans arranged by Donna Vicino for you. She hopes you'll grow quickly during this time. Please take a look and determine if it's achievable." "I can do it," I replied without hesitation. Looking at the packed schedule on the tablet, I felt excitement bubbling inside me. In my last life, though I had climbed to the ranks of the nouveau riche, the mafia family's training was a world completely closed off to outsiders. Now, I had direct access to it without having to work for it. How could I not be thrilled? Sabele shot me a meaningful look, then continued with some additional instructions.